Stop pretending to be successful, my brother laughed. Tossing my cards 1 week later, his new boss introduced me. Everyone, meet the owner of our company. His coffee cup shattered on the floor. The sound of my brother's laughter echoed through our parents' living room as my business cards scattered across the hardwood floor. Seriously, Elizabeth, strategic innovation consultant? Stop pretending to be something you're not. I watched James, my older brother by 2 years, grind his expensive leather shoe into one of my carts, smearing the embossed lettering I'd paid extra for. At 32, he was the epitome of what our family considered success. Newly hired executive at Meridian Technologies, one of the fastest-growing tech companies in Seattle. Those cards cost money, James, I said quietly, bending to pick up the scattered remains of my professional identity. Money you can't afford to waste, he smirked, adjusting his Rolex. A gift from our parents for landing his new job. Face it, little sister. Consulting is just a fancy word for unemployed. Our mother walked in carrying a tray of appetizers for James' celebration dinner. Elizabeth, dear, are you still doing that freelance thing? You know your father could make a call. Get you something more stable. I straightened up, tucking the salvaged cards into my jacket pocket. The jacket was Armani, though they'd never know it wasn't from last season's clearance rack. In their eyes, I was still the family disappointment, the one who'd walked away from a real career to start my own business. I'm doing fine, Mom, I replied, thinking of the meeting I'd just come from. The one where I'd signed the final papers to acquire Meridian Technologies through my holding company, Aurora Ventures. Fine isn't the same as successful, James interjected, dropping into our father's leather armchair. While you're consulting, I'll be transforming Meridian. They're lucky to have me, you know. The co practically begged me to join. I suppressed a smile, knowing that the CEO had already been quietly informed of the upcoming management changes. James had no idea that his dream job was about to change dramatically. When does your position start? I asked, already knowing the answer. Monday, he grinned, pulling out his own business cards, thick, glossy things with Executive Vice President emblazed in gold. Unlike some people, I have a real title at a real company. Our father strode in beaming with pride. Son, I just got off the phone with George at the country club. Everyone's talking about your new position. Finally, a Harrison making headlines in the business world. I thought about the headlines that would run next week when Aurora Ventures revealed its ownership of Meridian. The mysterious holding company had been the talk of Seattle's business community, known for aggressive acquisitions and innovative management strategies. No one knew that behind the corporate shield was the youngest Harrison quietly building an empire while her family mocked her career choices. Elizabeth was just showing us her business cards, James said, making air quotes around the word business. Dad glanced at the crumpled card on the floor. Consulting. So honey, it's been 3 years. Maybe it's time to admit this entrepreneurship phase isn't working out. 3 years. While they thought I was scraping by on freelance work, I turned my grandmother's inheritance, a modest $1 million they thought I'd waste, into a holding company worth over $300 million. Aurora Ventures now owns stakes in 12 companies across the tech sector. Each acquisition made carefully and anonymously. Actually, I said, picking up my bag. I have some meetings tomorrow. Big changes coming up. Changes? Mom perked up. Are you finally considering real jobs? Something like that. I smiled, thinking of the email I'd received during dinner. The one confirming that Aurora Ventures now owns 67% of Meridian Technologies shares. Well, don't expect any introductions from me at Meridian. James called as I headed for the door. We have standards. I paused, turning back. Don't worry, James. I have a feeling we'll be seeing a lot of each other very soon. In my car, a deliberately modest Audi that wouldn't raise questions. I checked my messages. My assistant had confirmed everything was in place for Monday's announcement. The board would meet at 9 a.m. to formally approve the acquisition, followed by a company-wide meeting where Meridian's new owner would be introduced. The same meeting where James would discover that his little sister wasn't just successful, she was his boss. My phone buzzed with a text from Mom. Honey, James left some of his business contacts here. Should I save them for you? Might be helpful. I started my car thinking about the stack of NDAs sitting on my desk at Aurora Ventures. The ones that every Meridian executive, including their newest EVP, would need to sign on Monday. No thanks, Mom, I typed back. I have all the contacts I need. The weekend crawled by in a parade of family messages celebrating James' success. Mom sent hourly updates about his new office furniture. Dad forwarded articles about Meridian Technologies' promising future. Even our cousins chimed in with congratulations about finally having someone important in the family. I read each message from my penthouse office, watching Seattle's Sunday morning fog roll between skyscrapers. The Aurora Ventures logo glowed softly on the wall behind my desk. A rising sun breaking through clouds. Appropriate given what tomorrow would bring. Miss Harrison, my assistant Kate's voice came through the intercom. Final confirmation from the board members. All 17 have signed the confidentiality agreements about tomorrow's announcement. Only the CEO knows your identity. I smiled, remembering my meeting with Gerald Porter, Meridian Company, last week. His shock at discovering that the mysterious head of Aurora Ventures was the sister of his newest executive hire had been priceless. Now you can watch the second part by pressing share and more.